one of the things that we're going to be doing on this weekly show is talking about the most up-to-date issues going on with the Florida Marlins and soon-to-be Miami Marlins. And, a report came out, I think it was either last night or this morning, saying that the Marlins are in negotiations with the Reds for Joey Votto. There's all kinds of, rumors go around. You don't know if those are accurate reports.
Right.
But Joey Votto is definitely a player that, if you acquire, he's definitely going to make a huge impact on any team that he plays.
Yes, Go ahead.
Now the reports, you have Joey Votto, a few weeks before that, people were talking about Alber Pujols and Prince Fielder. Those are huge names, but you have to start thinking about which player fits this team the best. And if you put all three of them next to each other, yes, Alber Pujols is the best player in the game. I still think he's the best player in the game. But, personally, I think I would prefer Joey Votto.
Okay. As far as how the lineup shapes up,
right,
I'll probably give you that. Now, in my opinion, you want, and we talked about a leader on the field. Now, I'm sure Votto is capable, but he's, compared to Albert, he's still young.
Oh, absolutely.
So you need that leader on the field. Not only that, but you want somebody to connect to your fan base.
Your fan base, right.
Fan base. And Canadian or Dominican? To me, I'm going to go Dominican. I mean, it's that simple as far as theory. Now, money-wise, it's not that simple.
Right, that's kind of like my approach at it. Because I know that the Marlins are going to increase payroll, and that's all fine and dandy. And people are saying that they're going to have a $100 million payroll, which I don't even know if that's completely accurate. But, as far as payroll goes, Joey Votto makes the most sense because he's still young. We can get him for less. And we might have him longer just because he's young.
Right.
Whereas Alber Pujols, you might have to overpay for him a little bit. Maybe he'll take less to come here. I don't know if he uses Miami as a hometown discount. But the biggest thing is, you're right, leadership. And Alber Pujols, if he came to the Marlins, he'd definitely bring that leadership. And he's I would say he's probably one of my favorite players in the game, not just because he can hit, he can field.
Yeah. When
you see him in front of a camera, people interviewing him, it's not like you're interviewing LeBron James or, A-Rod or Derek Jeter. You feel like when Alber Pujols is telling you something, he's telling you the truth. Mm-hmm. And he got into that whole argument with T. Plush.
Yeah.
And you felt like he was the one that was right, regardless of whether you agree with what Nyjer Morgan did or not.
Right.
When Nyjer Morgan spoke, you were just like, oh, this guy's such an a-hole. What the heck? I don't even want to see this guy.
Yeah.
And as a Marlins fan, you definitely don't like Nyjer Morgan.
Forget him.
But when Alber Pujols spoke, he didn't go onto the media and start trash-talking Nyjer Morgan. He goes, Nyjer Morgan's a great player.
Right.
But this, and this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't. He was very professional about it. And I was very surprised because he was very upset because he threw the thing at his.
Yeah, he threw it at Carpenter.
At his teammate, and they were showing replays about it today, and I think that Pujols definitely took the high road.
To be honest, as far as the lineup is concerned, any of those three make perfect sense as far as, sandwiched between Hanley and Stanton or some variation of that. But in terms of just in the clubhouse and all that, I prefer Pujols 100% of the time, anytime. But who knows? He may end up wanting to go back to St. Louis, or I don't know. We'll see.
It's going to be interesting offseason, definitely. We have, November 11th, obviously. You never know who's going to be there to introduce the new uniforms. It could very well be a new player. Certainly hope it's not Volstad.
I hope he's gone by then, but anyway.
Yeah, talking about players,
Yeah.
What do you think of the whole Oviedo situation? That is his name.
Oviedo. JC Oviedo. Let's see.
Oh, JC. Now he's got a shortened name. It's JC Oviedo.
First of all, I don't know if they're gonna grant him a visa to come back. They still have to find out who falsified his records, basically. So as far as that's concerned, that's already a problem in itself. And if you can't solve that problem, then I don't see the Marlins tendering him.
I personally think that his days as a closer are over. I mean, I like the guy. He has a ridiculous changeup.
Right.
But I've never seen him as a closer. And this year I kind of accepted. I said, let's just accept him as a closer because he's probably going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
The season he had, he just doesn't seem very confident when he's up there. And if you looked at the way Vasquez transformed throughout the year, if Vasquez throwing a 90-mile-per-hour fastball tops can strike out hitters and go through, several shutouts, come on. If you're throwing 98 miles per hour, you better get somebody out.
Yeah, it's all mental. It's the guy. For some reason, I don't know what it is. It's all mental, man. I mean, not even Buck can have him. He kind of controlled him at the beginning of the season.
Right.
He racked up 19 out of 19, 20 out of 20, something like that.
Yeah.
But it just after a while, you couldn't do it, and.
Right.
And there are closers available this offseason, like K-Rod or I don't know. Did Heath Bell?
K-Rod is an interesting one because I was actually thinking about that the other day.
Yeah.
I think he is going to be a free agent because part of the deal was that they weren't gonna pick up the option.
Right.
So K-Rod is definitely an interesting thing, and he might be inclined to come here just because of Ozzie Guillen.
Right.
So that's definitely an interesting thing. Do you think that's, you have Heath Bell out there. There's always rumors that he's going to get traded. I don't know if that's ever true. But after his year, do you prefer a guy like K-Rod who's had, multiple success in the past and maybe more of a veteran presence in the bullpen than Heath Bell, or what do you think?
Look, this year as a setup guy in Milwaukee, he's having a pretty good year. But let's backtrack a little bit, just not too far because he was fine with the Angels during his Mets career there at the beginning. Not too confident with him, right? The guy.
Choker.
It reminds me a lot of, and Oogie got the job done, but reminds me of a cardiac.
It's very wild.
Cardiac closer. It is what it is.
Right.
And heck, reminds us of Leo Nunez or Oviedo, whatever the hell his name is. But I'm sure he's a great closer, and I'm sure he is a great closer. But
he's in the history books. I mean, he has the most saves in a season. Whether the reason why he got that many saves was because his team just didn't score enough runs with the Angels, he still got the job done.
Correct. We just, as a fan or whatever, just prepare for a rough ninth inning. Don't think because we signed this guy, we would sign K-Rod, that all of a sudden 1, 2, 3 ninth. It's not gonna happen.
Well, at least we don't have a guy like Carlos Marmol who, the biggest thing for me, I am a control, freak. And if you can at least throw strikes, we were at least going in the right direction. And a guy like Marmol can't throw strikes, and that's the biggest problem because he'll walk 4 straight guys and the game is tied. And he didn't throw, the other team didn't win that game. It was him. He walked everybody in. So a guy like Leo Nunez, sometimes he is a little sporadic and all over the place.
But he rarely walks people.
Yeah, he barely walks people. He throws a lot of strikes. And now the problem is he needs to mix up the fastballs and the changeups. Because when he throws a 98-mile-per-hour fastball and then he drops in an 85, 86 changeup, there's no way to hit that.
No, I know.
But you have to mix it up correctly, and I don't see him figuring that out as a closer. Now, I think he's going to be a very good setup guy somewhere if the Marlins don't tender him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the question is, where is he going to go, and whether the Marlins will tender him to use him as trade bait. That's going to be another question that might arise.
To me, that would make sense. If possible, if he's able to come back, I may tender him and see what I can get. I'm sure you may not get something big, but you may, coupled with something else, you may get something. Yeah, teams out there I'm sure need, especially if, let's say, San Diego ends up parting ways with Heath Bell, maybe. Or just the different teams that it may need a closer. Right now, the Cardinals, right now they have Jason Mott, but they really don't have a closer.
Yeah,
so
it's closer by committee in St.
Exactly.
Louis.
So maybe there's an option.